Hello, people. This is Kerstin, Retrain a Trotter, Part 2. So we are here with Isaiah, a 7-year-old French trotter, and he's with me for, let's say, 10 days now, and he learned quite a lot. So now I can pick up a trot, and he finds his rhythm straight away. I get a better connection on the lunge. It's not hanging through so much. He also is able to pick up a canter, and he can hold it for quite a long time. You see, he's cantering a full round with a little bit of a head shake here and there, but it's far better than it was last week. So here I take him onto a smaller circle to ask for a little bit more flexion towards the left. He's listening pretty well to my stick now, so when I ask him to go forward, I move my whip towards his hind end and he picks up a trot. And when I want to go back to walk, I point with my stick in front of his front feet onto the ground and he is back and walk. When I ask him to trot, he still has this little hop. It's like he needs to push his body weight up with his shoulder instead of just taking the weight on the left hind foot mainly. But he, at least he understands the clues for walk and trot, even though the balance can, of course, still be very much improved. But I'm quite happy what he is doing here. He's listening really, really well. No rushing, no challenging. So when he arrived, sometimes he would come towards me and challenge me. He doesn't do that anymore. So every now and then I pull a little bit on the lunge to ask for a little bit more flexion because he's still a bit tilted towards the outside with his head. But we have actually to rebuild the entire horse, so the muscles are a little bit on the wrong places. So I changed the direction. Now I am right rein, and even here he's picking up a nice trot straight away. Okay, he needs to poop, but that's actually, I like to see that. That means they are relaxing and after that they can focus better on their work. But you see he's trotting on, no rush, no challenging. And on this side, I do get a better connection, kind of. So when I take the lunge a little bit shorter, I am able to pull his nose slightly towards the inside. I also can ask him to canter. And he manages, again, to canter a full round. Even though he's still pretty much tilted into the curve, he is holding his canter pretty well. For a trotter, I'm quite happy with this canter. And because he did it so nicely, I will ask him again, just to reconfirm that he understood the aid. And he does it the second time just as good than before. Even though there are some head shakes in between, they are not as bad as that he couldn't keep on cantering. So I think by simply ignoring those head shakes, it will stop by itself at some point. Just ask him to keep on cantering, get into a rhythm, and you will find out that it's easier to keep the head steady at some point. So here I take him on a smaller circle, and here we have quite a nice bend towards the right. And what I like to see is now when he's trotting in this rather jog, that relaxed mode, not in the racing mode, the entire back starts swinging. So the trot becomes more bouncy, and you see every now and then he tries to stretch forward downwards, simply by flexing him a little bit to the inside, by asking him to step with the hind foot further under the weight. When I release my lunge, he is stretching forward downwards. And we have to praise him a lot that he makes a connection, that this forward downward stretch is what we are actually looking for, so that both of us are happy and relaxed. Sehr schön, very good. And I just let him trot and find his way forward downwards. I don't ask for too much. I just wait for those good moments when he's stretching forward downwards by himself, and I praise him. So he is in a walk. nice and relaxed with a long neck, still looking to the outside, but I don't mind. And soon I will come to a halt, and I want him to hold on the line where he was running before, and he's not running into my space. I'm quite happy with that. So to get him to a halt, I stand a little bit diagonally in front of him. Here I am doing something new. I ask for jaw-flexions. I try to release tension in the jaw. Horses have three major parts where they can resist the rider. That is the mouth, the jaw, the poll, and the hind end. So first we have to unlock the jaw. As long as they are still bracing the bit, we have no access to the rest of the horse. It's like the key for a door. Yeah, if you cannot relax the jaw and you try to ride a horse with a bracing mouth, it's like you have to kick in a door to get into the horse. But we don't want that. I want him to it's like I'm knocking at the door and ask him, please, would you let me in? And he did so. No? So it was a little bit rough in the beginning, but he opened his mouth and he released pressure and tension in the jaw. Once he did that, I can ask for a little bit of lateral flexion towards the right. I'm standing on the left side of the horse. I pull the right rein over the neck and I give him slight half holds on the right rein, whilst my left hand is holding the bit and vibrating on the ring of the bit on the left side of the horse. Again, I do all this in an upwards direction so that the pressure of the rein always touches the angle of the mouth and not the tongue. So we're asking for a reflex that he would chew, swallow, release the jaw, and then flex to the right in this case to release tension in the poll. And that might take a while here. He is still figuring out what I want from him. Now he tries to go reverse. He's wondering, what shall I do? But I just give him time and keep on vibrating until he is finally releasing pressure here. And then I praise him, of course, and I go onto the other side. And I do the same towards the left. So I grab the left rein over the neck. I give him half holds on the left rein, whilst my right hand is touching the ring of the bit. On the right side, I vibrate with my right hand, always in an upwards direction, so that I don't squeeze the tongue. I want him to relax the jaw by simply responding to that reflex. Pressure on the angle of the mouth means chew. Here, he was a bit distracted because there was somebody passing by, but I just keep going. No? And if I feel he's bracing too much, I just release and I start from the beginning until he is bending to the left. He tries to escape a little bit backwards, but I just keep going until he's chewing on the mouth. That was it with the flexions in the hold, and now I work him a little bit in hand. After I have released tension in the jaw and in the poll, I can ask for him to release tension in the hind end by making him cross his hind feet. I want him to cross with the left hind foot in front of the right one. And by doing that, I bring him in a shoulder-in position. I flex the horse towards the inside, and I tip him a little bit with my whip on the butt that he would cross with his hind feet on a bigger circle. Once he can do the shoulder in, I can also ask for the counter shoulder in by simply changing the direction through a figure of 8. So what was before the shoulder in towards the left is now the counter shoulder in to the right. And I was doing this, I think, for the third time, and he really got a clue what I want from him. I was really happy with this turn. Yeah, it looks so unspectacular, but we are teaching the horse's brain, and it will make things much easier when you later try to ride them. And I do the same on the right rein. I ask him for a shoulder in towards the right. Now I want him to cross with his right hind foot in front of the left, which seems to be a little bit weaker and stiffer, even though on the lunge he seemed to be a bit more supple on the left. The right hind foot seems to be a little bit weaker. It doesn't really want to take the weight. But again, I just started this work and I'm quite happy that he understood the concept. So don't forget, he is with me for 10 days now. Once he can do the shoulder in towards the right, I can soon ask him for the counter shoulder in towards the left by simply changing the rein through a figure of 8. Here we are in the shoulder in towards the right. And now I change. I make really big steps now to stay at the outside, which is a little bit difficult for me because he's quite big and makes huge steps. And when I'm at the outside, I really have to march to catch up with him. So now we are in the counter, shoulder in towards the left. And here he starts crossing with his right hind foot in front of the left one. And considering that was one of the first times I ever tried it, I'm really happy with this. So I come back to Holt and he's standing pretty square. He gets his well-deserved pet and we can go home. That was it for today. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. Give me a thumb up and tell your friends. Until next time, bye-bye.